Today we want to review how to multiply a whole number, mixed number, or a fraction by a fraction. Basically, multiplying fractions. The first step is always going to be writing all of our whole numbers and mixed numbers as improper fractions. Step 2 is going to be multiplying straight across the numerators. Step 3 is going to be multiplying straight across the denominators. And the last step is going to be to simplify our final answers. These are the steps for multiplying fractions. Let's zoom in on example 1. First, we need to change any whole numbers and mixed numbers to improper fractions. 8 is a whole number. We need to change that to a fraction. 8 is the same as 8 over 1. Then we have our mixed number, 5 3/5. We need to change that to an improper fraction. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 3 is 28, which means 5 3/5 is 28 fifths. Now to multiply 8 over 1 times 28 fifths, we multiply straight across. 8 times 28 is 224. 224 over what? We multiply straight across the denominators. 1 times 5 is 5, which means that 8 times 5 3/5 is 224 over 5. Now we simplify. Is there anything I can divide 224 and 5 both by? No. But I can convert this back to a mixed number. I see how many times 5 goes into 224. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract 22 minus 20 is 2. Bring down the 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract and get 4. 4 ends up being a remainder. And so we know that 5 goes into 224 44 times with 4 left over out of the 5 that was going in. Nice job. What about 10 times 4.5? Well, 10 needs to be converted to an improper fraction. 10 is the same as 10 over 1. 4.5 is a mixed number. We want to change that to an improper fraction. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we have 9 over 2. Now remember, we're trying to multiply these two fractions. 10 over 1 times 9 over 2 is going to give us 10 times 9, which is 90, over 1 times 2, which is 2. And so 10 times 4 1/2 is 90 over 2. Now both 90 and 2 have a common factor, which is 2, so we can divide 90 by 2 and 2 by 2 to get our final answer of 45 over 1, which is 45. Nice job. Example 3 is 4 times 12 2/3. 4 needs to be written as an improper fraction, which is 4 over 1. And then we have 12 2/3, which needs to be written as an improper fraction. 3 times 12 is 36, plus 2 is 38, which is 38 over 3. So 4 times 12 2/3 is the same as 4 over 1 times 38 over 3. I need to multiply 4 times 38, which is 152. And then 1 times 3 is 3. And so we have 152 thirds. So 4 times 12 2/3 is the same as 152 thirds. Now I know 152 and 3 don't seem to have any common factors, so I'm just going to change it to a mixed number with long division. 3 goes into 152. Well, 3 doesn't go into 1, but it does go into 15 5 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, you get 0, and let's bring down the 2. 3 does not go into 2. I need to say that in the quotient. And there's no other numbers to bring down, so 2 is a remainder. And so I find out that 3 goes into 152 50 times with 2 left over out of 3. And so our answer is 50 2/3. Nice job. Now it is certainly much easier to multiply two fractions when you don't have any whole numbers and you don't have any mixed numbers, because all you need to do is multiply straight across. If I want to know what 3/4 times 1/2 is, I multiply straight across 3 times 1, which is 3. And then I multiply straight across 4 times 2, which is 8, which means 3/4 times 1/2 is 3/8. Nice job. What about 1/2 times 14/15? 1 times 14 is 14, and 2 times 15 is 30, which means 1/2 times 14/15 is 14 over 30. But 14 and 30 have a common factor of 2 because they're both even, and so I can simplify this fraction. 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 30 divided by 2 is 15, and so my final answer is 7 over 15. Nice job. Our final example is 1/5 times 1/3. Well, this isn't so bad. 1 times 1 is just 1. Then in the denominator, we have 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. And so we find out that 1/5 times 1/3 is 1/15, which is already simplified. Nice job. Now you are ready to go and work on your own examples. Don't you forget that you can always look back at these rules and steps for multiplying fractions. Step 1, write all whole numbers and mixed numbers as improper fractions. Step 2, multiply straight across the numerators. Step 3, multiply straight across the denominators. And then step 4, simplify your final answer. Go get them!